Meeting open, and therefore be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of September 22nd be adopted. Do we have a mover
Henry Siemens.
and a seconder?
Marvin.
Any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 8th be adopted. Mover,
Michael.
seconder.
You had both there already, I think. on this side.
Both Don and Michael? Okay, thank you. Any discussion regarding the minutes? They're all correct?
Yeah, with
Thank
that
you, Danica,
clarification.
again. All in favor of accepting those? And that's carried, thank you. Correspondence-wise, we have a couple of pieces here of correspondence regarding the Manitoba Agricultural Hall of Fame. The AGM meeting that has been was scheduled for April 6, 2020 will now be held September 28th, 2020, and that meeting will be held via Zoom. So just in case you're wondering about that one, we haven't been very actively involved in this, although I've gone to one or two of these events, and it's been enlightening. And sometimes we have people from our own community that have been nominated to the Hall of Fame, and so it's been good to be in attendance there. The next one, we have Travel Manitoba AGM Annual Report, and Karina, would you want to maybe enlighten us on that one a little bit? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I participated in the AGM. It was very good. Contrary to how some of us feel right now, we are doing much better than most of the other provinces. And so they're very hopeful that it'll all pick up, and we're very grateful. They have a really good strategy moving forward, and the stats are there to prove it. So we're very fortunate.
And when you look at tourism, these are all PST dollars, because majority of the money that gets spent through tourism is all subject to PST. So it enhances the province's bank account as well. Thanks, Karina. Accounts payable, be it resolved that the accounts payable in the amount of, I'm not sure if I've ever seen this big a number here before.
Yeah.
$12,298,291.38 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover.
Henry Siemens. Gulp.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
Well, just as long as you realize the majority of this money is money that wasn't ours in the first place. So it's paid out to the school division and to the province. A lot of it, at least. Okay, we have a mover. Do we have a seconder?
Karina Bickert.
Thank you. Any questions in regards to this? As I said, the majority of it's going to the province in regards to education taxes. And of course, some of our bigger projects also have some big checks in there too. From Highway 32 to the Meridian Exhibition Center. That's why it's that high. All right, all in favor of approving those bills? Thank you. David had to go for a hard pill when those checks went through. Be it resolved, the water and sewer report of August 20th for August 2020 be accepted as information. Mover?
Marvin.
Seconder?
Andrew isn't here.
Andrew's
I'll
not
help with
here.
that.
Okay,
Thanks, Michael.
thanks, Michael. Any questions regarding that report? Lots of information, nice report. Scott has been keeping us informed. Thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Be it resolved that Transportation and Utilities Committee meeting minutes of September the 9th be adopted. Mover?
Marvin.
Seconder?
I'll help.
Thanks, Henry. Any questions regarding that report? Or
Maybe
any
just
comments?
the little one with regard to the 30-kilometer-an-hour residential zone. Is there any movement on that? Was that strictly a discussion at this plant, or was there some thought in terms of doing something with that?
I think that thought is to find ways to do it other than just simply putting enforcement signs up. Find ways that are, and they're looking at options for traffic calming. For instance, if there's a crosswalk there, one option might be to raise it, like a longer raised kind of area. And so you don't need to put speed signs up and have police officers sitting at every street.
But there is some thought that we would like to make that citywide, is that right?
Not the 30 kilometer, that was discouraged,
Okay,
very much
okay.
discouraged.
I didn't quite
Oh, yeah. No.
understand that. I
Yeah,
heard
at
that
this
there
point,
a
it was,
discussion
it
around
was kind of an open discussion and no recommendations came out of it.
Okay,
But what we said was it will be a continued discussion with a proposal of some sort to come in the future.
okay.
This is kind of opening the conversation.
And I think mostly it would be in residential areas is what I thought of, yeah.
Some
But
of the
from the
cities going
Congress-
40 though.
Yeah, but from the conversation of just simply reducing the speed limit, I didn't get from that meeting that there was a lot of
No.
enthusiasm for it.
Good. Yeah, I think that when we start looking at that as a broad community-wide reduction to something like that, I think the community should have an opportunity to speak to that. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it was just, I think would be looking at all.
It wasn't the
alternative
first
ways.
option.
That's good. And to improve safety, I'm fully
Yeah.
supportive. I think that's terrific. And we know the difference that 30 makes compared to 50 if you hit someone.
Yeah.
I get that slowing traffic down is a really important piece. It would just, I think, surprise the community if that showed up out of the blue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the restrictions that are there, like for example, even with the speed bumps, if you do the gradual speed bump and it's long enough, then you can do this. You can't just have a bump like that
Agreed.
because your snow removal would be very difficult to be able to do with that. But at the same time, some reduction is needed and they want to figure out what that would look like.
Nice.
Then I'm sure it'll be on the meeting agenda again sometime.
I can't imagine that it won't be.
Okay, the next one, MSCW reports. Be it res-
You need
Question.
to
Oh, sorry. All in favor? Sorry, thank you. Carried. MSCW report, be it resolved that MSCW August 2020 meeting minutes and reports be received as information. Mover,
Don Fair.
seconder?
I'll help with that.
Good, thanks, Michael. Any questions, observations in regards to the reports?
So right now, we're about $5 million down from where we were last year, which is not bad considering we don't have a school this year.
Right.
A lot of the permits that are being issued right now are residential renovation permits, which really don't give us the monies as commercial would do in the past, but we're definitely seeing the numbers up, so, which is good.
Well, the numbers that are there for the city of Winkler are certainly something to be pretty excited about, even in relation to other years. You take a look at August, for example, where you got over $5 million versus last year was just under 4. So,
Mhm.
and that is primarily, I believe, because of Icon, right?
That's correct.
After it was issued. And they're under construction.
That's great news.
Yeah, and I guess it's because of COVID, it seems like people spend more money at home this year, and so I think that's universal. So that's good for our community. It helps improve all the housing and so on in the community.
I heard there were a lot of CERB decks being built this year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Decks and pergolas.
No, that's good. Keep the money.
It
there.
is good, I agree.
No
I
serve money
agree.
in my pergola.
No, mine either. I didn't get no pergola, I tell you that.
And no serve either.
Nope,
There you go.
anyway.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? And that's carried. Be it resolved that council approves subdivision 4463-20-7989. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder.
Don?
Any comments? Jody, you want to weigh in, or anybody else wants to weigh in regards to this?
Yeah, in terms of the staff, there is the report to council, And it was recommended there that the subdivision be approved with no conditions because the applicant has met all the requirements that were put forth.
And there's another good example of having the road in place and then development takes place. So
Yep.
this is just adjoining the road, and this is what we're hoping for when that road was put in. So it's nice to see that subdivision take place.
Yeah, it was nice to see that all the dots were green.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that yet.
yeah,
Oh, no.
could have been some orange one.
Yeah.
All right, so with the information there, all in favor? And that is carried. Next one, be it resolved that Winkler Council does not object to the approval. I had to read this 3 times. This is usually a positive motion, but then I understood why this says would not object to the approval of subdivision 4190-20-8026, being a plan of subdivision within the collaborative planning area. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder,
Don?
and then discover that the reason we could not have that as a positive motion is because it's not ours to make, so.
Well, yeah, part of this, we had this come through MSCW, and I just was very adamant that we made sure that we were, all our departments were informed on this, so.
Nice.
Appreciate that very much. Any other questions regarding this resolution? Not to object? Any reason why we would want to? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the Community Services Committee meeting minutes for September 11th, 2020 be adopted. Seconder?
I'll help.
Any comments in regards to or questions regarding the community services minutes?
I thought I had. been
I
there.
was going to say, I think that Marvin was there.
Okay.
So we need to add him as an
Add Marvin
attending.
As an attendant?
So if you agree that I was there, then I can
I
second it.
thought so,
Then I can
both of
second.
us.
I agree that you were there.
Okay. Any other questions regarding those minutes?
Nope.
Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Explore Morton Winkler meeting minutes for September 16th, 2020 be received for information. Mover,
Karina Bickert,
seconder.
I can help.
thank you.
Okay, Marvin, thank you. Any questions regarding those minutes, or do you want to add some comments?
Absolutely. I want to
Please.
talk about Burger Week.
So let's go for it.
Burger Week is next week, and I am very excited about it. We're going to eat a lot of burgers, and it's going to be great for our restaurants. And we're very excited to be able to promote the restaurants that have been hurting the last couple months. It's time to bring them up, and there are people wanting to shop local, and I'm excited to have our first ever Burger Week. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, so we had a little discussion around this council table, which we thought was very exciting, and I think maybe we should reveal that at
Well,
this
if you
point.
say it, then it has to happen.
Well, okay, actually, she said,
Oh,
after she said something often enough, eventually it would become
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So I think she had made a good point.
Mhm.
What this council has agreed to do is that the winner of Burger Week
Selfless.
will serve us as council with that burger at the next council meeting. So that'll be the winner, and we'll have a public display, and we'll invite the media to join us to celebrate the winner of the burger. So
you might be able to get a bite.
officially announced today, Lauren, you're the first to hear it straight from our,
The restaurants don't even know.
no, the restaurant doesn't even know. We'll tell them eventually.
With
Maybe after
Danica,
tomorrow
with
we'll
Danica
have-
here, you can consider it done.
Maybe. Well,
Doesn't matter,
no,
doesn't
We're not
matter.
going to be biased.
Have you seen those burgers? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's good.
All right, so that's the official announcement. All in favor of council? That is carried.
There's going
So
to
there
be a
you
lot
go.
of media next
Let the
time.
word be out. Opportunities there. Be it resolved that the South, well, and the other thing is we want to challenge Morton to do the same, in case you're
Mhm.
bringing the message that direction.
I'll let Nicole know.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good.
Thank you.
Be it resolved that the South Central Regional Library Board meeting minutes of September 17th, 2020 be received for information. Mover,
Merwin.
seconder.
Michael.
Any questions regarding the library? How's the usage?
The usage has come up a lot. It was actually pretty strong. We actually, not surprisingly, we actually, the last meeting said it's okayed the transfer of some money from paper or from paper into electronic, because a lot of people use the electronic version for their whatever materials they want. So we just switched some money out of paper into electronic. So. And it's good. It has increased usage. It's better than last year, but last year wasn't good for us because of the
Right.
flood. So.
All right. Thank you very much. All in favor? Just saw Ruth come in. Ruth, are you ready? You're right on time.
Perfect.
Yes. My next item on the agenda says Community Spotlight, Katie's Cottage presentation. It's, floor is yours.
How perfect is that?
I sent Jody some pictures, right, Jody?
You sure did.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for giving me the time to speak to you, and it's an honor to be here in front of you. Katie Cares continues to do the work that we had set out, we said we would do. It continues to serve many people in our community. We see an ever-increasing amount of visitors from local as well as around the province. 2018, we had 467 guests, that equal to 888 rooms rented. 2019, we had 483 guests, which made a go up by about 20 guests in that year. And we rented out 952 rooms. In 2020, we've kind of dipped because of the COVID, but nevertheless, we continue to strive to do the very best that we can and to provide a service that has become very important to the Boundary Trails Hospital, as well as Salem, Tabor, and Eden Mental Health Center. 2020, we had 157 guests so far, with a total of 393 rooms rented. We have put together a business binder as well as write-ups featuring the local businesses, restaurants, and things to do. So it gives the guests a lot of well-rounded, just a well-rounded of all our community here and how important our community is. I gave you guys survey cards. These survey cards I developed because I wanted to see what guests were thinking. I didn't want to just go on my own and say, this is what I think should be here, but I wanted to hear what they had to say. And so the survey cards have become very important part of the fabric of Katie Cares, or the cottage. Just a couple of examples: a small table inside the room, longer hours. They're always wanting more hours, but it all comes down to numbers, right? And how we can feasibly put this together. More access to the kitchen. People love that kitchen. The continental breakfast they love. Different things like that. One of the things that came up from these cards was that we didn't have lighting. So when we built the house on your right-hand side, we didn't have lighting. It was extremely dark. And so sometimes we had a critter or two hiding behind there, like a skunk, or, we've had deer right up against the house, and they do frighten people. We've had the coyotes come through and they've left their tracks, their marks of their big paws on the concrete. So it was important to listen to what the guests had to say and add that lighting so that we could provide that. That is what Winkler, the city of Winkler and your donation did for us. We were able to put that in, something that we had forgotten, and we added that. The other thing that we added was the chairs this year in each room. They got 2 chairs, just like you see there. And they are plastic so that they can be wiped and they're clean. Your name is at the bottom. There was no, because of the rounded edges and stuff, there was no better way of doing it. So when they're standing up, you can see, donated by the city of Winkler, Katie Cares. So that is something that the guests do remark, wow, like this is really something that your community has been a part of, and you must be very proud of being in this area, and we are, for sure. It is important. Some of the other things that have been written, and I just want to share a couple of them with you. One lady, and there's always funny ones, right? And I'll share you a funny one so that you can understand the humor sometimes. Can you do something about the train that goes through? Well, all right. You do know that you are in a farming community. You do know that there's the elevator right there, I said to her. And you do know that it's harvest season. So with the amount of trucks and stuff that are coming in and unloading, oh, she said, yes, I see. I'm from Winnipeg. Yes, and that's okay. We understand. This place is wonderful and very comfortable. I really liked it here. I also loved the walkway to the hospital. It was awesome. Thank you for providing these facilities. It is really helpful and an excellent location. Thank you to all who have donated. Unbelievable and fantastic facility. What a great offering to those who need it. Thank you so much for everything. You have helped us in an incredibly difficult time. Katie's Cottage is a remarkable place to stay and for out-of-towners with early morning procedures, being so close to the hospital. And it goes on and on like this, you know. So I cannot say thank you enough for supporting, standing behind us, whether it is just the encouragement that you have given us, whether it is just telling people about it. We continue to work hard, and we will continue to do that and do right with the money that is given to us and spend it in a very meaningful way, and that is for the guest. So that is important for us to know. The walkway now on the south side here is lit up beautifully, and if you haven't been by, drive by in the evening at night, and then you can see it. It has made a huge difference for us. Do you have any questions?
I have a comment. By looking
Yes.
at this, I know that in 20 years' time, this will be even much more beautiful with those trees nice and tall.
Yes. Yeah. And in the back, we've added more trees as well. The gazebo, again, today was a prime example. A large family couldn't all be in the hospital as their loved one was passing away. So the gazebo was the place to be. And so they used it, and it was a place of comfort for them. It was a beautiful afternoon to be out there, thankfully, and they could enjoy that time.
And they were protected from the wind.
And they were, yeah, it was beautiful back there this afternoon. You know, I was out there several times, you know, bringing water or coffee or dainties and you know, just to see if they needed anything. Yeah. I know that the shopping, they love shopping. A lot of guests, the ladies especially, it is therapy. Cha-ching. Go on the credit card. And So we encourage them to go shopping, and Winkler certainly does offer great shopping, some very unique shops that we can send them to, and they come back with good therapy.
Well, Ruth, we want to thank you for coming, first of all, to sharing the success story that you have with Katie's Cottage. And we know it's been years, but yet you've diligently stuck to it, to the vision, to the goal. You've got it clearly laid out. You have the community support, and you have had all along.
Yes.
And just want to say thank you for your diligence in recognizing the need through personal experience, but also through the needs of others, and addressing those and supplying those needs that are there. So thank you both to you and Randy for your efforts, and John as well.
Yes.
So you're in there as a family,
Yes, we
and you have volunteers and people working there that make this an enjoyable experience. So,
Right now,
Thank
we
you.
have no volunteers because
None?
of none.
okay, because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I guess you still got Colleen though, right?
We have Colleen. And that's a really big success story. I don't know if you know about it. Colleen was part of Gateway,
Mm.
and she was volunteering, and she was learning and growing and just really expanding. So I got a grant for her, and she's with us now full time.
Nice.
And it is a real success story.
Mm.
She's wanting to take on more. Sometimes the capability isn't there, but you give it to her in a smaller pace or a smaller
Right.
chunk that she can handle. But yeah, you're right, Don. That is a huge thing. But thank you.
And again, the demonstration of being able to work with people who we would consider to be a vulnerable part of our society and
Yeah.
make them feel valued. And that's the most important part.
Meaningful work.
Yep.
Meaningful. And she feels very valued.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And thank you for everything you guys do for us.
You're very
Thank you.
Thanks for.
Thank you, Ruth.
Bye-bye.
Okay, to keep my agenda straight, Lauren, have you got any questions or?
Are we going to go to the end first?
We have the,
Oh, yeah, we got
we have the
questions.
other business, right?
We have other business. Questions for media are in the wrong place right now.
Yes.
I'm just wanting to make sure I don't miss something. So maybe put it at the end next time. Okay. Okay, we'll carry on to other business. All right, be it resolved that the content use policy be adopted. Mover,
Merriman.
seconder,
Rena, oh, you can have it.
okay, Michael,
Michael
you're
can
on?
have it.
Okay, thank you. And Jody, maybe if you can just, for the sake of Lauren or whatever, just explain the reason for the content use policy that we've initiated?
Yep, this comes really from marketing within our city, and at different times, our logo or other content could be used, and it isn't always used with permission, and sometimes it gets used on events that make it appear that we are running the event or are part of supporting the event. So we're just trying to give our staff a policy to stand on that says that you have to ask for permission. It's no different than what any other organization might have for their own logos and things like that. So it's just meant to give us some policy for our staff to say, you need to ask for permission, and here's the policy that needs to be adhered to.
I think the issue also came up, I think, a couple elections ago. Some candidates were using the city's logos on their campaign material without having received permission.
Okay,
So that would be.
You're right.
so all of those things would be covered under this type of policy. Wendy, anything to add?
Okay,
Pretty basically, we try to make it very easy to understand, but you can't stretch across whatever rec things, and if you want permission, you just have to ask.
Right.
It's not like we won't give it to them, we just want to know when they're using it so
Yep.
that they use it appropriately.
thank you very much. Any other questions, council? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Next item, be it resolved that the council members' code of conduct bylaw 2020-23 be given a second reading. Mover,
Don?
seconder,
Karina?
any comments or additions regarding those code of conduct?
So are we, after the second reading, is that when we want to change the order?
So we did that
It
there.
is changing. Right?
We
Right.
attached one there that has the track changes,
Mhm.
and then one that shows the final
Right,
version.
okay, yeah.
Okay, we have a mover and a seconder. Any other comments? Hearing none. All in favor? That's carried. Then be it resolved that council members' code of conduct bylaw 2020-23 be given third and final reading. Mover,
Henry
Marvin?
Siemens?
Marvin and Henry, thank you. And we had opportunity for second reading. Any final comments or ready for the question? All in favor? And that is carried. All right, see, now this is where you'd have questions from the media. Yeah, maybe change it around like that. So, all right, got any questions? No questions?
Can we take a couple minutes?
Later, yeah, we'll just adjourn. We don't have any in camera, so.
Nope.
Okay. All right, then we'll deal with that in a bit. Therefore, be it resolved that this regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover,
Karina?
seconder,
Michael?
all in favor? And that is carried. Meeting adjourned.